Hello, welcome to PinVoice. Today, I'd like to talk about Taiwanese stuck in Hubei. We've mentioned about this issue for a few times, but unfortunately, so far, there's still more than 200 Taiwanese stay still in Hubei. And you would think that's ridiculous because we know that Hubei has lifted the restrictions and people can travel in or out of this province. Then why these people are still in Hubei? Many reasons. Of course, if they want to leave Hubei or go to another area in China, the first thing is that you must have the documents. And I believe all the Taiwanese there, they do have the documents ready. But the thing is that there's no plan. And Chinese government, they think now all the restrictions are lifted. There's no need for us to arrange any chartered flights from Hubei to Taiwan. So they kind of hesitate to take any actions. Before that, they try to communicate with government in Taiwan, but it did not go very well. So even though there are 2 charter flights from Hubei to Taiwan, and then semi-charter flight from Shanghai to Taipei. And so far, they've already taken 1,435 Taiwanese home from Hubei. But that's not enough. And when you look at this number, you might think that Taiwanese government has done a good job on repatriation of its own citizens from China. But it's not, because we all know that 1,435 Taiwanese from Hubei were brought home since February 3rd. More than 2 months, Taiwanese government only helped 1,435 Taiwanese home, and there are still more than 200 Taiwanese stay in Hubei, and they want to go home, but so far it would be a very long journey for them because they all have records, and Taiwanese government have listed all the Taiwanese in Hubei in a special category, and they think they might be very dangerous in terms of COVID-19. So they have the list of all these people. So they are not able to get home through any kind of route. They must be arranged by Taiwanese government. Otherwise, there's no way for them to get into Taiwan. So many people try to ask Taiwanese government to help them. Many people have done that, but it's still in vain. I don't know what Taiwanese government is thinking about. They are citizens. They are Taiwan's citizens. They have the right to go home. They have their freedom to come home when there's a global pandemic. But the government not only hesitated to bring them home, but also made records on all of them, so they are not able to get home in another route. So if Taiwanese government really thinks Taiwan is a democratic country, they value people's freedom, they value human rights, then they should make corrections on this matter. Especially, I remembered when WHO's Secretary General Tedros had some disputes with Taiwan cyber warriors, because a lot of cyber warriors from Taiwan would like to ask Tedros to resign, to step down. And Tedros publicly criticized people from Taiwan, and he just mentioned Taiwan directly. And after that, Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen, she immediately condemned such criticism, and she mentioned that we do not have any we will not discriminate. We would not have any discrimination to anyone, because Taiwan has been discriminated for a long time. So Taiwanese government will not do such things. But look at how Taiwanese government is handling people stuck in Hubei and people coming to Taiwan from the Europe or from the US. And you can see that there's no restrictions for those who coming from US or Europe. They can just directly take the flight and get into Taiwan. No questions asked. And so we see the statistics from Taiwanese government that so far they have about 340 cases that were imported from overseas. It's not in Taiwan. It's not within Taiwan. It's kind of have the infection from overseas. But look at all those people from Hubei. So far, there are 1,435 people from Hubei, but only one was tested positive. So you can see that those infections imported overseas, there's only one from Hubei, but there are 340 confirmed cases from other countries around the world. So you can see the numbers. A number can tell the stories, but the Taiwanese government still discriminates people from Hubei. They still put strict measures to those people from Hubei to Taiwan. So I really think it's totally unfair. But does Taiwanese government listen? I don't think so. If they do, then there won't be any Taiwanese in Hubei right now. They want to go home, but they can't. It's just because Taiwanese government do not do anything they can. If Taiwan think they are a democracy, then think about other countries. When we look at the US government statistics, they have repatriated 71,538 Americans on 750 flights from 127 countries and territories. And the US government has no higher priority than the protection of American citizens. You say America is a great country. It's the superpower country in the world. Maybe Taiwan has nothing to compare. But at least you only have about less than 2,000 Taiwanese in Hubei. They need your help. But since February 3rd until today, April 29th, more than 2 months, almost 3 months, Taiwanese government is not able to bring them all home. I think it's not acceptable and it is ridiculous.
谢谢收听，别忘了订阅关注哦，我们下回见。